This is the North Africa Journal, and thank you for downloading this podcast. For more podcast information and user rules, please visit north-africa.com/podcast.
Well, Alessandro Bruno is the deputy editor of the North Africa Journal. He joins us in Toronto. Alessandro, good to see you. Let's begin with the news that Martin Seemungal brought us. The opposition members meeting with Egypt's new vice president, talking about what came out of today's meeting. Some of them said good intentions, but no solid changes. You've had remarkable success predicting events in the past weeks. Do you think the outcome of today's meeting is a bellwether of the outcome of future talks?
I think the more important meeting today is the one with the Muslim Brotherhood, because what they're trying to do is isolate the leadership of the Muslim Brotherhood, trying to offer them an important deal that will then help to break up at least a part of the protest. The Muslim Brotherhood is the only organized party in these protests. The others are a mishmash of social groups and individuals without any particular party affiliation. The Muslim Brotherhood is a united part, so they're going to try to offer a deal. I suspect they're going to offer them, the Muslim Brotherhood has been illegal for 52 years. I think they're going to offer them a legal right to participate in politics.
So you think that this is a form of divide and conquer approaching each one of these members of an opposition. Muslim Brotherhood, what kind of support does it have among the people of Egypt?
Based on the elections of 2005, there were elections in 2010 in November, but we are still waiting to see if they're going to be considered valid after this protest ends. In 2005, they managed to get something like 20%, let's say 20% support of the population. But they've been a very long-standing force in Egyptian politics since the 1920s.
They've promised not to field a candidate in the presidential elections come September, but they do want to have a voice in the country's outcome. It seems fair enough. Agree?
Yes. Well, they say that they're not going to present. I think they've said they're not ready to rule yet. So what they're aiming for right now is legal status and the right to run in parliamentary elections with their name. So far, whenever they've run for parliamentary elections, they've done it under an independent sign. And usually the way a voter would know that there was a Muslim Brotherhood candidate is because the candidate would post Islam is the answer. That was the slogan. Interesting
to note that the Muslim Brotherhood has promised not to try to rescind the 1979 treaty that Egypt has with Israel.
Well, that's very important. If they're going to be negotiating with the president, with the government, and particularly with Suleiman and the other army leadership, there is no way they can even hint at rescinding that treaty because the army depends on it. They are the protector of that treaty in Egypt.
Alessandro, I've got time for just one fast final question. Okay. Egypt tried to get back to work today, as Martin Seemungal showed us a few minutes ago. Banks were open today, business was open, fewer demonstrators turned out in protest of the president. Do you think Hosni Mubarak can wait out the situation? Do you still expect him to depart within the next couple of days?
I don't know if he's going to depart in the next couple of days, but I think he has to. It's for sure he has to leave. What they're trying to do now is secure some kind of a historical role for him. Perhaps he will be ushered out as the person who brought in constitutional changes, although the real power now rests with Suleiman and the other generals, the chief of staff and the prime minister and the head of the army. So they're trying. He doesn't necessarily want to go into exile. There are two options: one, Germany, to go for treatment, or his summer house in Sharm el-Sheikh. I still think that's what they're working toward right now.
Alessandro Bruno, the deputy editor of the North Africa Journal, speaking with us from Toronto. Alessandro, thanks very much for this.
Thank you.
This was the North Africa Journal podcast. Thank you for listening.